Hey, man.
Hey,
What is happening?
what is happening? I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad you're here.
Fancy meeting you in person.
Yeah, outside. It's very cold, man.
How long has it been since we've shot an episode actually face to face?
3 months, 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah, it's been
A
about
long time.
yeah,
Too long.
since before Christmas.
Too long.
We're in April now.
But lockdown rules have finally eased slightly, so we can meet outside. So we're doing a bit of an episode here.
So today's episode will be shot in the beautiful English countryside, as you can see behind us. Now, we thought of a very specific challenge for this episode. So we've decided to make up on our, attempt to go to London before Christmas to shoot some street photography. And as you may remember, we ended up having to go to Brighton because, it wasn't particularly safe at the time to go into town. So we're going to make up for this time, and we're going to take you along.
This time we're going to go there with the intent of trying to take a photo in the style of one of our recent guests, Nina Kling. Now, if you remember, she is an awesome street photographer from New York, and we absolutely love her stuff. But there's one specific type that we're going to go with the intention of trying to take.
Nina's style is very recognizable. And one of the things that I think really jumps out is the way that she manages to shoot silhouettes in a street situation. So we're going to go to London, not New York this time. We're going to go to London and we're going to try and emulate her silhouette street photography style and maybe put our own take on it.
Oh, interesting.
Who knows what that's going to be, or we'll find out.
So how many mistakes do you think we're going to make?
I don't know. Have you ever shot a silhouette?
Nope.
Definitely not. So we're going to find out how to do it, and we're going to take you along for the ride. I have another idea.
Easy.
What we really need is somebody to look at our images afterwards and give them a bit of a constructive criticism.
Top idea.
Because clearly, that's the best way to learn, right?
Yeah. We've done it before in a couple of our challenges in the past.
Well, now I know nobody better than Nina Kling herself to give us a bit of a photo critique.
Do you think she's up for it?
Nina, are you up for it? So we are in London right now. You can see the South Bank right behind me, the beautiful London skyline, the walkie-talkie is just over there. So we've come to do some street photography, believe it or not. And we shall see how that goes. How can I help? Welcome to Camera Shake Podcast, episode 52. 52, that can only mean one thing. It's our first anniversary. It's been a whole year. A whole year of Camera Shake Podcast.
A whole year.
A whole year. And we've literally just come back from London, which was a whole other experience.
It was.
How was it for you?
It was. Are we getting distracted by the weir in the background?
I don't know. This is a first for many things. First of all, this is obviously our first year anniversary episode, but also it's the first time we're filming outside, because as of now, we are allowed to meet up outside. So this episode will be entirely filmed outside. And it's strangely distracting. There's like a
It really
waterfall
is.
over there, or whatever that is. Is that a waterfall?
A weir.
Whatever
weir.
a weir. So there's a weir over there, there's birds over here,
Yeah.
there's like some bell tower behind us, planes above.
We could have found somewhere quieter.
Yeah.
We could have found somewhere, more fitting for video, but we didn't want to because we like it here. It's very, really nice.
It's a nice day. We've actually had a great day in London. That was a really cool day. There's a bird thing, whatever that is. The swan.
It was a swan.
Yeah. Did you see that video? Somebody filmed something running through their garden, and they thought it was like a dinosaur, a baby dinosaur. Yeah, did you see that?
No. It sounds like something on TikTok.
It wasn't. It was literally somebody's security camera filming like their backyard, and it was this thing. It literally it does look like a baby dinosaur running through their backyard. It was probably some animal. I mean, obviously, but clearly it wasn't a baby dinosaur.
No, is that like seeing a Loch Ness monster?
Pretty much. But who doesn't want? I mean, who doesn't want a baby dinosaur run through their backyard?
Well, quite, yeah. True. Very, very true.
So the weather is good. We decided to film outside. So London. I mean, we went to London, and we were on a mission because what we really wanted to do was we wanted to create. Well, first of all, we wanted to create some street photography. And more specifically, we were trying to sort of emulate Nina Kling's style of shooting silhouettes in the street photography kind of setting. But that really proved to be harder than we thought it was going to be.
It was damn hard.
Yeah.
Damn hard. And, it was quite difficult to get myself out of general street photography kind of momentum, if you like.
Yeah.
And really get my mind in gear to specifically look for shots which might be good for a silhouette. And then you add on top the fact that the weather, whether that played ball or not, was all additional issues. So it was a lot harder than I expected it to be.
Yeah, and it's one of those days where it was sometimes it was overcast, sometimes it was a little bit sunny, but you really couldn't control the weather. I mean, obviously you can't control the weather. So I guess, the learning experience for us was really that if you're deliberately going out to shoot silhouettes, then you need a great deal of luck. Because everything has to kind of play ball. The weather, the sun, the position of the sun, blah, blah, blah. So I think we bent that idea pretty quickly.
Well, unofficially, yeah.
Although there was one location where it sort of worked out for a little bit. But I think in the grand scheme of things, we realized that really, if we were going to come back with, some good street photography shots in general, then we consider ourselves lucky.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but there's probably 2 or 3 shots that I quite liked that I came back with. I don't think I had much more than that on the day, and partly I think that was because I really enjoy photos with people in at the moment.
Yeah, that was
in particular, and I've got an affinity for shots of buildings and streets and things like that, absolutely, but I've got a real thing for shots with interesting people in right now. And that's not to say that there weren't interesting people out there, but there were very, very few people out there, which made it a little harder on me, I found.
I think, on one hand, I found that a little bit surprising because I thought it was going to be busier than it actually was. But the reality was that, I think the minute I got on the train during rush hour, I realized that it wasn't busy at all. I mean, it's, anybody who's ever taken a train into London will know that, your chances of getting a seat are virtually zero under normal circumstances, like pre-COVID.
And it was a weekday, wasn't it? It was early rush hour, just late end of rush hour that we were going in, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so I think on the train you could already see that it wasn't going to be busy at all, and then in London it was surprisingly calm, surprisingly empty, and I guess it's because although the UK we have opened up a little bit, I think what you can really sense is that lack of tourists
Yeah.
in London. So the streets were still relatively empty.
Yeah.
Because I kind of thought, in the place where I live, which is on the outskirts of London, the streets are probably busier than they are in central London because people actually live on the outskirts. Well, the minute you get into central London, it's literally workplaces and tourists.
Yeah.
And so if you take the tourists out of the equation, and given the fact that a large number of people probably still working from home, then you're not really left with very many people.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
So,
I see the same here. I live in Windsor, which is an extremely touristy area because of the castle and the Queen and all of that stuff. But it's also a residential area, so it's still not busy. It's I'm used to it being just horrendous at all times.
Yeah.
And it's just not. Even though shops are now back up, lots of shops are now back open. It doesn't feel it. It doesn't feel it. But that being said, it didn't stop us in London. We still got out there. We still took some shots. We had a little plan in mind about where, the kind of route we were going to take, and try and walk most of it as well. And do you know what I found doubly hard that day? Is that because we wanted to capture what we were doing on film, I found it very difficult to focus on what I should be doing or what I wanted to be doing. So it was hard to capture film and to go, well, I want to sit here and take a photo though.
But it was also, there was, a lot of that was part of the excitement of actually being in London because, I realized that I hadn't been in town for a year.
Yeah.
With COVID and all. A year, that seems crazy.
Yeah, it's probably been closest to 2 for me, to be fair. It was nice just to be around the area, particularly around certain places where I used to work and, little bars and restaurants that I used to go to.
And it sounds like, we're complaining about the fact that it wasn't busy in London. And really, far from it. It was actually nice walking around central London, and the streets being relatively empty. There was one particular place I think we got to. We went around St. Paul's in that area. And for all of those who have been to London before, St. Paul's is usually very busy. It's one of the main tourist attractions in London. And it was very quiet around there. And it's actually, you see it in a different light, with the streets being empty and, less people around. It was cool. But there's one particular place when we went down to the river near Tower Bridge. There's almost like a side street which comes off of Tower Bridge called Shed Thames.
Yeah.
That was good. Which is usually, it's one of these, it's old warehouses with cast iron, wrought iron bridges going across. They used to roll barrels across these bridges.
Yeah.
So they used to unload the ships and then roll the barrels across or whatever. And it's a really unique area, and usually that's packed with tourists. That's just packed because it's right next to Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
So it's like a tourist hotspot, and it was empty.
It was strange.
Yeah.
It was very, very strange. But I guess we tried to make the most of that situation and take advantage of the empty streets, right? And you got a cracking shot down there, absolutely cracking shot. You couldn't have got that at any other time.
No, I was thinking this when I was editing it. Actually, there's really no way I'm going to be able to replicate that ever, without any extensive Photoshop trickery or whatever. But it's just really, it's a very unique situation that we're in at the moment. So, in a nutshell, although the UK has opened up a little bit, and we are actually able to meet outside, we're really far from normal at this point. So,
another year or so, we'll be completely back to normal.
It's easy to forget because when you're sort of caught up into listening to the news and people saying things are going back to normal, the reality really is it really isn't anywhere near what it used to be.
No, it's not. So What else do you find? I mean, what went well for you on that trip?
I think generally I did come back with a few really cool shots that I liked. That was cool. It was just generally it was nice to spend a day just going out.
Yeah.
Because we've been out in like what is it, like 3.5 months of lockdown, 4 months or something. 4, yeah. So we've been in the third like full lockdown for about 4 months now, and it was like I said earlier, it was the first time we actually managed to get out and get into town and actually see something else rather than just immediate surroundings.
Yeah.
And so that was good. It was just generally a good day out. There was also what felt good was that we managed to kind of make good on what we were planning before Christmas.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's very, very true. And got to go to a camera shop.
Oh, that's right. We went to the camera store. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you buy?
I bought like a what's it? Peak Design thingy clip thing for your rucksack strap thing.
Thingy clip thing for a rucksack.
Whatever that's called, I don't know. It's a cool thing though.
Basically, you put. I can't actually remember what they actually call it, but it's made by Peak Design. You put a plate on the bottom of your camera and a clamp around the strap of your rucksack or bag or belt even, I guess, and it just slots in, so you don't have to walk around carrying a camera the entire time. That in itself, I don't mind carrying my camera because I like having it in my hand, but there's many occasions where you go, I need to put my camera down for a second, I need to get my bag, I need to do this, I need to do that, and you can't, and it's so helpful.
It certainly simplified the whole situation, really, because no matter whether you have like a wrist strap or a neck strap or something for your camera, once you carry that around, for like the best part of the day, that does get pretty heavy.
Don't you find regular straps just kind of get in your way a little bit, particularly if you've got a bag on?
Yeah, especially when you have two cameras as well. That was the other thing. Because I was shooting with the Nikon, and I was also getting the Fuji out. It does get a little bit cumbersome when you're balancing two separate cameras around. So that Peak Design thing, it's great design.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand why I've just woken up to that, because obviously it's been around for a while. But, but it literally, I mean, we hit the ground in London, and it became immediately clear that I had to find a different solution for my strappage situation.
So in addition to that, I've got a Peak Design. My strap is Peak Design as well.
Okay.
And there's two things that are very cool about it. Not that I use it often, but when I do use it, two things that are very cool is that you attach kind of like tiny little straps to your camera, which have tiny, small, round, red kind of plates, if you like, but they're solid plastic, and what you're attaching to is very solid as well. So they're small and they're thin, but they're out of the way. And then your camera, your strap has clips for those to just slot into. You just slot them in and out, and they're 100% secure. A bit like the design of putting the camera on your rucksack. But the second feature is the ability to make it shorter and longer. I've never come across a strap that makes it so easy. You literally just pull one slip up, put it back down, and it's locked. It's done. They're great. What a company.
Yeah, I mean, I was comparing that to the Black Rapid strap that I normally use, which in certain situations can come in handy, but there are a few downsides with that. There's a bunch of clips that come loose all the time, and it's not. It's an okay strap, like if you're shooting an event or something. But I think the Peak Design solutions are a little bit more useful.
I think day to day they probably are. Yeah, day to day they probably are. It's long as well, that particular strap. It's great. Like me, I have it over a shoulder, and I don't have it around my neck. I have it over a shoulder and down round, and it hangs, by my hip. And it's perfect for that if you're using it.
By the way, I should just mention that this video is absolutely not sponsored by Peak Design in any way, shape, or form. However, if you're interested in sponsoring us, then get in touch. But we're just giving you really first-hand experiences of our experiences with it. So that was maybe we should do like a little review type of video about that.
Yeah, sure. I love both of it. They're the only two things I invite people to sign. Their rucksacks are pretty good, by all accounts, as well. Although, how did we get onto rucksacks? I don't know. But I just bought myself a new rucksack, a Timber something, very good, roll top. I can't remember the name of it right now. Hadn't planned on talking about that.
We'll have the picture for you here.
It's great. Hurts my shoulders a little bit though after that long day, I have to say. And I don't know whether that's because, generally I get back problems and things like that. But if you look at the top of the straps, the very, very top of them are like that seatbelt. Aeroplane kind of seatbelt type material. And I wonder if just that little inch of material there was digging in.
Right.
I'm not so happy about that. So I might have to look at how long I wear it and whether I need to put something underneath the strap. It was quite uncomfortable for a couple of days after that. And the bag wasn't that heavy. It had a tripod, camera, a couple of lenses in, nothing, water, nothing else. It really had too much weight.
They weren't really lugging that much gear around. I mean, I guess, generally speaking, the idea with street photography is always to travel as light as possible.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, and I took a lens that I couldn't even use. Do you remember? And a damn heavy one too.
Yeah.
A 24-70 is an EF lens, and my R6 takes an RF lens, so I've got an adapter for it. Forgot the adapter. So I had my 35mm already on the R6, which I just used the entire day, which is great because I love it. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. But what a waste of weight. That was probably half the weight that was in my bag.
Well, it's all a learning experience. I mean, again, the sort of take home from that, for me, is, it's really difficult to film and take photos at the same time. That's hard. And secondly, you really want to scale down your equipment as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's definitely an advantage.
What I was really pleased about on the day is that even though I was taking some film, I was taking photos, and I didn't really turn my camera on and off all that much during the day. Still lasted on one battery.
Yeah.
Whole day, and it had tons left in it by the end of it. It didn't take long to recharge. I could have done 2 or 3 days like that, I think, on the R6, and would have been quite happy. I was really pleased with that. Really, really pleased.
Yeah, so should we, I think it's going to be interesting to see what Nina's going to make of our results. So we shall see. That will happen in one of the next episodes, for sure. Now, having said that, of course, today is episode 52. It's been a year of Camera Shake podcast.
Unreal. Quickest year, longest year of my life.
Yeah, and weirdly, it feels like we've come full circle, because we started in total lockdown, filming ourselves in our respective houses.
Yep.
Then for a little while, we managed to be in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
And then now, of course, we see out the year just kind of emerging out of lockdown again. So it's been literally a whole year of one sort of lockdown or another.
Yeah. Who'd have thought that 12 months later we'd have to be doing it basically the same way. Obviously today we're fortunate that things are getting slightly easier again, but I didn't think when we started this in 12 months we'd still...
No way. Who would have thought that?
You know what I mean? The great thing about this has been that, aside from all the amazing guests that we've spoken to and the general chit-chat that we've had, I've enjoyed it more and more and more as each of the weeks have gone on. And I didn't anticipate that. I knew I would enjoy it. I knew that there'd get a point where I'd really start to enjoy it after some of those initial few weeks get out of the way, and you go, oh, unsure about that, how does that work? Oh, what do we talk about now? Things free-flowing a bit more, all of that kind of stuff. Once that's kind of through, I didn't anticipate continuing to enjoy it week on week, continuing to enjoy it more, I should say, week on week, and I really have.
It's been definitely a learning experience because
Yeah.
I think when you first start out with something like a podcast, like who knows how to make a podcast? From the outset, it's like that's not really something that you just know how to. For us in the beginning, it was like working out where podcasts even live, in the first
Yeah.
place. And so, it seemed like a good idea at the time. And I think, we said at the very beginning, we're just going to learn how to do it as we go along. And, now we're 52 episodes later. And, we got maybe a little bit more of a grasp on what it is, hopefully, that we're doing and how we're doing it. But I think what's, one of the most exciting aspects of it is the fact that it's turned out that there are people like you outside in the world, out there somewhere, wherever you are, listening to our little podcast. And that's the most amazing thing. And judging by the messages that we get, and the responses that we get, and, that's really been one of the most amazing things for me, is to see that that there are people out there thousands of miles from here potentially who enjoy listening to what we've been able to put together for the last year. And we could be any more grateful to all of you out there, to just for listening to our little podcast. It's been absolutely amazing.
I think we've said a number of times now over the past year that we didn't necessarily make this for other people. We made this for ourselves, to keep us sane, to give us something that we enjoy to do, something new to learn. And if someone out there, 1, 2, 10, 20, 50 people enjoyed it as well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I'm still doing it for myself to enjoy it, but given the type of comments and the number of people we know are listening, I now do it for you too. And that makes a big difference, because we're absolutely committed to doing this every single week. And it is a big commitment.
Yeah.
It's a big commitment.
As we are going into season 2.
Season 2.
It's season 2.
Okay.
As we're going into year 2 of the Camera Shake podcast, of course, we're always looking to shake things up. So if you have any suggestions, ideas, or anything that you want us to know, or that you want, any ideas that you have as to things that we could include in this podcast, and get in touch and let us know. As always, you can DM us on Instagram, send us an email at camerashakepodcast at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, or leave us a YouTube comment. But let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to do, any challenges you have for us. Actually, that could be a good thing.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay, here's a good idea. Set us a challenge. So we've just been to London doing some street photography. If you get any challenge for us, any photo or video related challenge, we'll be up for doing that. So get in touch, let us know, and we'll do our darndest to...
Don't make it too hard.
Excellent. But yeah, it'd be super interesting to hear from you, obviously. So, what were your best experiences over the last year? If you could,
Do you know one of the episode I probably enjoyed most was when we got Hannah back on, Tommy back on, Dan back on for the second lockdown special.
Yeah, that was cool.
Because I think I needed that as much as I wanted to transfer some of the information from those guys to to anybody else out there.
Well, I think that was quite a shock, really, to go into the second lockdown.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What had happened in the UK was that we had come out of the first lockdown over the summer last year. And things were opening up, and things were going quite well, and the COVID numbers were going down. And then beginning of September, schools started opening up again, and then everything went down the drain from then on. And basically everything started to go the wrong way. COVID numbers started shooting back through the roof. And we found ourselves in the second lockdown. And I think, was it November time or something? October time? Something like that.
Before then, I think.
Yeah. So we found ourselves back in the second lockdown, back, making podcast episodes from home, and it was really on one hand it was frustrating, but on the other hand it was also quite scary, actually. Because at that point, you just really didn't know. You had the feeling that everything that we were told wasn't really happening. Things weren't going the way that anybody had planned. The government didn't really necessarily seem to know what they were doing either, and so it was a worrying time. And so to put an episode together where we spoke to other photographers to see how they are dealing with it, in order to give our listeners an idea or some help or just some inspiration. That was a really good episode to make.
It was, and more than anything, just to let everybody know, and myself know, that those issues, the things that you're thinking, that they seem to keep working. They seem to keep doing stuff. They seem to be positive. No, they're just their coping mechanisms for helping themselves through it. They're still feeling the same way and thinking the same way that we are, but they're just having a slightly different mindset about it to keep themselves going. And I needed that.
And I think, generally, by talking to our guests over the last year, the interesting thing there was, of course, we had guests on from really all over the world, and no matter who we spoke to, it was just interesting to find that we're all, really literally in the same boat all together.
Yeah.
We're all feeling the same things. We're all worried about the same things. No matter whether you're in Arizona or whether you're in the UK or whether you're in the Netherlands, for example, or whatever.
Colombia.
Or Colombia. Yeah, we're all like experiencing the same problems. We all have the same worries in that respect. And what that does is it immediately gives you more of a sense of community. And I think one of the biggest things for me is that I've really realized that we are part of a photographic community, not only amongst the professionals amongst it, but also with you guys listening to this podcast, which is why we thought it's be such a great thing to actually create a camera-shaped community where we can all exchange ideas and thoughts and stuff like that. So if you haven't done so already, head over to our website, camerashakepodcast.com. There's a little button you can press that says something like join our community. Sign up for that. Doesn't cost a thing. It's totally free, and we won't bombard you with tons of emails, really. But it's just a way for you to stay in touch and to get the latest news. We'll put a newsletter together once in a while, and we'll create some extra content as well. So that's all going to happen over the next month or so. So head over there, be part of the community. That would be super awesome. Also, what you can't see behind the camera is that we have an audience over there.
Oh, hello.
Anyway.
No, not interested. Not interested. I don't know what are they doing.
I have no idea. They're watching us watching them.
Yes. Yeah.
So that brings us to what's in store for us for season 2 of Camera Shake Podcast. Season 2, that's right. Year 2.
So what is in store?
Well, obviously more. Oh, wow. Same old. No, we've got some really cool plans in store for next year, or the second year. We're going to have more guests on the show. Obviously, we've got some really interesting guests lined up for the next few episodes.
Yeah.
That is going to be really awesome.
A couple of unexpected guests.
A couple of unexpected guests.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. Make sure you tune in for that every Thursday, as usual. But we've been thinking about creating some extra content.
Yeah.
Now, there's obviously loads of things that we could do. We could do tutorials, we could do vlogs, whatever it is. But we thought it'd be a good idea to ask you, our listeners and viewers, to see what you might like us to do. So, like I mentioned earlier, it could be challenges. It could be little vlogs. It could be tutorials of some kind. Let us know if there's anything you might like us to do. It might be product reviews. Oh. So, whatever it is that you think would be a good idea for us to do, let us know. And
can you rebox your Peak Design clip and do an unboxing of that?
No, I can't, because I left the box in the store.
most pointless videos ever. Unboxing.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, no offense to those who do unboxing videos out there.
If you like unboxing videos. Oh my God.
I just don't see the point.
No, you know, when I bought this thing, basically I got it straight out of the box. I left all the rubbish in the store, and I put it straight on my
Yeah.
That was that.
I think I still have my box for it.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. In case I ever sell it.
I was going to get it for last night. Yeah.
But we kind of did a tutorial in season 1, didn't we? With Ivan.
Oh yes, we did. Oh yeah,
with our lockdown shootout. That was another cracking moment of the first year.
Oh yeah.
Really was.
Yeah,
really was. Humbled by the quality of Ivan's portrait. I
think destroyed.
All right, I was destroyed. But God, that man is good at what he does. He really, really is.
But it does push you further, and this is
it does.
The thing I love about doing this, the thing that I love about doing these things is that it really does push you hard to get better, and that's really important for your own self-development.
Yeah, absolutely. You stick around, your same YouTube sites, you stick around the same location, you stick around the same people, there's a ceiling to all of that, of what you're going to achieve and be able to achieve. What's that saying? It's better to be you're better off being the dumbest person in the room than the smartest person, because you will develop and you will get better no matter what.
Well, also in music, it's often said that your best move is to play with people who are better than yourself.
Yeah,
because that's what pushes you to get better. And
absolutely.
I mean, that's definitely true. It just forces you to think in a certain way, and it kind of pushes you on. And it's also a ton of fun. Making the Ivan challenge was great. Doing the 5 rooms video with Donna was awesome. I spent a lot of time thinking about what to do for that.
I got sick of thinking about it.
Well,
I thought about it so much.
Yeah, and it was interesting because it kind of I thought I had a good idea, and then it kept changing, and and then putting it all together. That really was a challenge.
Yeah, it was. It was,
and it was super good fun. So, we enjoyed doing that. So again, if you enjoy seeing or listening to us doing these kind of challenges, then let us know, and maybe you want to give us a challenge, or maybe you want us to give you a challenge. And you can participate using the hashtag CameraShakePodcast.
Yes. Instagram.
So that's cool. Now the other thing we need to talk about though is Clubhouse. You know Clubhouse?
I thought that the first rule of Clubhouse was to not talk about Clubhouse. Do you know how many times that joke's probably been done now?
Oh, probably millions of times.
It's disgusting.
But yeah, Clubhouse. Are you guys on Clubhouse? I just joined Clubhouse, and I'm positively surprised. I'm enjoying it.
You're annoying on it.
Yeah, I am super annoying on it.
You spend your entire time on it.
Well, I spend a lot of time listening to things. Yeah, not necessarily interacting, but I am listening to a lot of stuff.
So we speak every day, right? And more often than not, it will be over FaceTime, right?
Yeah, right.
And I don't recall a conversation on the FaceTime over the past 2 or 3 weeks, maybe, where you haven't also had a headphone knocking about with Clubhouse going on.
That's very true. Yes.
It's definitely true.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
That's an educational experience.
Absolutely. It's all about community, right? And I think that's what Clubhouse is providing in a way that Facebook and Instagram can do, but just in a new way.
You know what's weird about it is that when I first heard about Clubhouse, I was really very late to the party on this. When I first read about it, I thought, well, this is like an audio platform. Like, how's that going to work? That's not going to work. Right? Nobody's going to be interested in that. Clearly, I was wrong.
You're basically just on the phone to people.
Well, right? It is pretty much like a conference call. But the interesting thing about this is that, as a social platform, it's the only platform where you're actually talking to actual humans on the other end. No, there's no posting, like no imagery, none of that. It's literally you're talking to other people in real time, which means you're interacting with other humans in real time. And
which is the fundamental flaw with social media in general.
well, exactly.
Right?
Well, yes, and you can see that as a plus or minus, but that's really what makes Clubhouse so different. And whilst initially I had sort of concerns, once I started listening to some of the rooms in there, I very quickly realized that actually this I can see why this is working. And at the moment, it's not open to everyone. It's by invitation only, and it's I believe at the moment, as we speak right now, it's only available for Apple iPhone users. There's no. What's the other system called? I've forgotten.
It's okay. We don't want those people around here. I'm joking.
There's no Android version for it, whatever. So it's sort of limiting in a way, but I found it really interesting. I've definitely been able to join some extremely interesting conversations over the last couple of weeks. It's been quite mind-opening. I've gotten to speak to some really interesting people and
some top-notch photographers as well.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's just it has actually proven to be a really positive experience. I'm really surprised because I didn't think. If I'm totally honest, I thought it was going to be like, yet another Snapchat, TikTok kind of a thing that, you'll check out, you get bored of it pretty quickly, and then you let it go. But
don't let the interface of the app and whatnot put you off, because it's not good.
That's pretty terrible.
It's really bad, and it's still in its early days. If you imagine the Facebook app and whatnot, when it first kind of kicked around, the Instagram app when it first kicked around, they were no good either, really. So just bear with it, give it time, get someone who you know who's already on Clubhouse to send you one of their, is it 2 invitations you get, I think?
Initially, yeah. I think you get more the longer
you're on it, the more you participate maybe.
That's
just bear with it. Get someone on to get an invitation sent over to you and give it a go. Anything you can imagine's on there.
No, absolutely, 100%. So, if you're on Clubhouse, again, look us up, join us, and if at any point you'd like us to start a Camera Shake podcast room, we're very happy to do that.
Yeah.
So, again, get in touch and let us know what you think is a good idea for us to do, and we will endeavor to do all of that in season 2.
Yeah. Do you think Steve will be there?
Steve will definitely be there, 100%.
Hope you're listening, Steve.
Cool. So I think that is all we've got for our first anniversary episode.
Nice relaxed day. I enjoyed that.
Relaxed day. It's very cool. More swans have turned up, and there's a bunch of geese.
The temperature is also starting to turn as it's 6:15 in the evening. I am wearing shorts and flip-flops for the first time.
As it is the old British tradition.
Yeah, it was over 8 degrees, so time to crack out the flip-flops.
Anyway, we will be back next week with yet another cracking episode. We've got another guest on the show, which I hope you will enjoy.
Yeah.
We've got
next 2 or 3 weeks are brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a lot of really exciting stuff planned for you guys, and hopefully we'll see you next Thursday. Yeah. Until then, have a good time. See you later.